Hey, so if you're like me, you will typically use Ubuntu, or you probably started off with Ubuntu as your first Linux distribution. So I like Ubuntu for Docker and just messing around. So I typically use it on VirtualBox, just a VirtualBox VM. But as we all know, with VirtualBox and VMs, they can be quite heavy on your local machine. So I'm just going to show you here today how you can launch a virtual machine on Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. Going to use one OCPU or one Intel Core with 15 gigs of RAM here, but you can up it to 30 gigs of RAM for a minuscule price really. And I just want to show you how you can install the Ubuntu desktop or the GUI and use a VNC viewer to view that desktop like you would be used to on VirtualBox or any laptop. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to SSH into my instance. So obviously we'll just have the terminal when we get in here, and our goal here is to get a GUI for Ubuntu. Oh, sorry. So we have to use Ubuntu when we log into an Ubuntu instance on OCI. So let me just run that again and just use Ubuntu. Okay, great. So first thing again, just switch to the root user and apt-get update. So apt is the package manager for Ubuntu. So instead of yum that we've been using for Oracle Linux and similar to Red Hat Enterprise Linux. So I'm just going to make the screen bigger here to make it more readable and more user friendly. Okay, so we have all of that got now. Yeah, so our package manager has all the updates, but now it's actually time to install those updates. So sudo apt get upgrade. So we're just going to type that there now. This will probably take a couple of seconds to run. So I'll probably pause the video, so please bear with me. Okay, so now we actually have to install the software that we need to use to get the Ubuntu desktop GUI that you're all familiar with. So I'm just going to install GNOME and a couple of other pieces of software here. Just going to get the panel, and we also have to get our VNC server. So that's basically what's going to be the graphical user interface that you're going to be using. I'll link also in the description lots of free VNC servers that you can use. There's tons of them out there. I like to use real VNC when I'm working in the corporate network. But it's really up to you what you want to use. So I'm just going to have my VNC4 server here. So this typically will take a couple of minutes depending on your network. So I'm just going to let that run. So you can see here it's been pretty slow. So I'll come back when this is up. Okay, great. So now I'm just going to show the tutorial that I've been following. There is a couple of commands that we have to use. So when you also have your virtual network computer server, you have to create a user and a password for that. So I'm just going to use the default Ubuntu user, and I'm just obviously going to put in a password here, and you will be prompted for this password when you try to connect to your graphical user interface through the VNC server software that you installed. So there is a couple of other parameters that you have to put in. Please bear with me while I just throw it up on the screen here now. Okay, have it here. So as you've seen, AWS and OCI are quite similar. Okay, so these are parameters that we have to add into our interpreter bin, into the VNC configuration files. So I'm just going to navigate to that folder and just going to put that onto my other screen to get everything up and running. So CD, we're just going to go to the home directory. So it's a hidden directory. What we need to change. Okay, so we're just going to edit that file. So with Vim, just type D_G to get to the end of the file and delete all. So Vim is it's a really, really useful tool. It's worth learning, just because anytime you do go into a server, you will probably be using Vim. Nano doesn't tend to be installed on most servers, so that's what I'm just going to do here now at the moment. Okay, so we have it all done, and just paste in that file that you see in the tutorial, paste in all those parameters, and you're good to go. So just going to get that there now. So paste. Okay, great. So right quit. So just make sure you have your exclamation mark when exiting Vim to save that. I'm just going to log out of that. So I'm back in my personal laptop here. So I'm not connected to anything. And you can see down at the bottom of the screen, I have my VNC server software there. I'm just going to, please bear with me while I'm just working on my other screen, getting the correct setup. Okay, so what you need to do is we're going to do a port forward. So we're going to use port 5902 on our local machine, and we're going to forward that to 5902 on our Ubuntu server. But it's going to be an SSH tunnel, so it's going to be a secure connection, and we're going to use our private key that corresponds to the public key that we use to provision our instance at the start of the tutorial. And just execute that then, so you will get into your server. So I'm in here now. It's asking me for a restart. I don't think I need to restart. Let's just finish the end of the tutorial. So what we're going to do here now is we're going to start the VNC server, but I'm also going to pass some parameters for the dimensions that I want to use. So the 1340 by 750 is going to be the dimensions of the VNC server. So I'm just going to start that up now. So the VNC server is running. So this is my VNC viewer that I just want to use. So hit localhost 5902. So that's what you passed on or port forwarded from your local machine to your server in the cloud. So sorry, I have a couple of screens here at the moment, so I'm just going to drag that up to the screen that I'm recording. Okay, so unencrypted connection, but we're using SSH. You could use some sort of encryption here. For the purposes of the demo, I'm just going to show you how to do it. So this password is what you created earlier on in the tutorial. So just hit remember password for any time that you need to go again. So hopefully, yeah, so our GUI is up. So this is the typical Ubuntu screen that you're used to. Like this is really good just for stop and starting development. I'm going to record another video with how to do with Oracle Linux, so it could be good if you're using if you're building any sort of applications on Oracle Linux, just to have a GUI just to get you by, just in case you need it. But this is the typical screen. I'm just kind of going to execute some commands here that we're used to. So hopefully this all works out for you, and you can get this up and running. So sorry, I'm just messing around here now. So I'm just going to close the connection and finish up. So if you do have any other questions, and big thanks for the tutorial on that we use here to help us get set up. And that link is in the description. And if you let me know what other videos you would like to see on Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. So exit, and thank you very much.